Merry solstice. We are at that point. Well, just about. In a number of hours here, let's see. In almost 3 hours from now, we will be at the point where the sun will be at its zenith, and we will be entering into the longest time of light where we really can use this energy to tap into the spirit of that essence of there being so much light available, even as we are traveling through the darkness of night. But we definitely will be having more daylight hours. This is going to be the longest day that we will experience this year. And it also is, ooh, wow. Okay. Just had a little message from a red-breasted robin that flew down just as we were bringing in this message. I'm not really familiar with robin medicine. Little birdie told me. Little birdie told me. Okay. Maybe there's a message coming in. A little birdie is going to tell you something that you need to know, something to tuck in your pocket for future use down the line when it could come in handy. Summer solstice, or Letha, as it's known by those who celebrate the turning of the wheel, is all about the lady and the Lord coming together to mate the land, and from their union all things grow and flourish. And I just think it's such a beautiful energy to pair with the Jupiter and Cancer transit that we're experiencing. Now, we've been dealing with some of the rougher edge of Jupiter with the squares we've got going on, and these are going to be more longer term influence. So just be prepared. I know that you're getting acclimated to that energy and the challenges it brings, but it's pretty much getting to the other side of the roughest bit of it. I'm not saying there's not going to be reverberations of what's been rolling out since we first had the Jupiter square Saturn transit come in. And then just a matter of a few days later on the 18th, Jupiter square Neptune. And of course, we have Uranus in the mix, juggling everything and playing a game of musical chairs with us. And at times it feels like that chair gets pulled out from under us just when we thought we had a seat. So do be prepared for this, but also approach it with a mindset of a sense of playfulness, because there are a lot of things moving around right now, and they might not be such a downturn of fortune as they initially seem. We know that Jupiter in Cancer is a very happy home for the benevolent planet, and it does bring about a lot of wild blessings and reasons to celebrate and feel quite optimistic about your future. Enthusiastic, I dare say. It's going to amplify the love and the beauty and the blessings in your life. But first, we are going to have to deal with some temporary roadblocks that are being presented by those squares. And those roadblocks will pretty much be on the scene until November, when a trine arrives to really transform the grit and the grind to something quite sublime. So stay tuned for that, 3:44 on the clock with that coming in. If you want to have an idea of how this transit's going to influence you, all you have to do is look back to the past Jupiter in Cancer cycles that we had. We had one back in 2013 through 2014. We also had one in 2001 to 2002. And again, another in 1989 to 1990. And this current one opened up on June 9th, and it's going to be with us until June 30th, 2026. Okay, so we usually get about a year, a full turning of the wheel to journey through this energy. Just know that where you're experiencing things being pruned in your life right now, you will see the full luscious bloom that will be coming in, and you'll have time to stop and smell those roses. By the time you arrive at summer solstice next year, the celebrations will already be well underway. But since this is such a luscious, beautiful energy at this time of the summer solstice, and since it's also a time when we have an entry into fairy, I thought we would do a special quest read. And I just want to dive into the energy a little bit, get some overarching themes. And of course, since we do have that goddess energy front and center, I thought we would open up with getting a message from the goddess herself as far as the intention that we should hold as we're moving up to the time of that benevolent trine that will come in November. Something that we can hold that can stir a bit of magic in our hearts, and where we can take that little ember and we can really fan the flames through our passionate desire and make it grow into the fire that will burn the way forward for us in the fall, and also really light up our hearts, our hearths, and our homes. That is the house of Cancer, the fourth house. It's all about warming up the hearth and the home, finding where you belong, and finding a warm reception there, okay? So let's open this up with this goddess energy, get a little goddess guidance. Oh, do you see? It's so beautiful. Just slip into that Neptunian energy that we do have at this time in the house of Aries as we open up to this new cycle. Let the records awaken within you of things that you sense but don't have words for yet. Things that were foretold before you ever incarnated on this earth that are awakening within you now. Sacred contracts that you made that will be coming to fruition, and the wisdom they bring that you're meant to share and bring forward with you on the road ahead. We have Sedna here, infinite supply. Though you may be dealing with squares, and that may make you feel like you're in a box, the box is an illusion. The box is in a process of being broken down, and there is no limitation on what you're about to receive. And where you may feel like you are in a position where you're not quite sure how you're going to manage the obstacles you're finding before you, how are you going to make it through these roadblocks? How are you going to feel supported when it feels like the rug is being pulled out from under you in some cases? You have no need to worry, for you are supplied today and for all of your tomorrows. Okay, so really beautiful imagery there. Whale medicine coming in. Whale medicine is all about record keeping. And there's something about the record of your soul that's waking up within you like a book of knowledge. This imagery has been coming in. This is the foundation of the matter. There's an infinite supply of whatever you feel you are most in need of at this time. Some of you could benefit from spending some time near the water if you have that opportunity. Or maybe you can do a little scrying tonight with some water under the moonlight and see what kind of visions want to come through for you. You might want to take a special blessing bath tonight or do a sacred anointing. Yes, look, you just need to be prepared for the road ahead. It's time to invoke your strength. Be strong. You'll be able to navigate these challenges. And where you are facing what feels like some fierce opposition, Sekhmet's here to stand and fight with you for what matters. And you're a lot stronger than you think. Your strength is assuring you a happy outcome, even though it may seem like things aren't quite right at this time. We do have a Mercury retrograde cycle that's going to be coming in soon, so you know what happens there, where those actions were taken, where some did go and burn a bridge that they're going to have to double back on. We're going to be dealing with a little bit of that review energy when that comes in the middle of July. Okay, so just be prepared and do, stand in a position of more sovereignty here. All right, just really holding your own energy, not needing to rise to any kind of provocation. And when you do deal with those in the Mercury retrograde cycle, later in July who realize they misstepped a bit. There's a need to really just stay in this place of calm, centered self-assurance. It's really being in the true strength of the feminine, which is that quality of receptivity, openness, defenselessness, because there's no need to defend anything when you are really rooted in your truth. The truth is evident. Okay, beautiful energy there. Sekhmet is also pretty fierce. She fights for justice. And where you do feel like you have been dealing with a lot of oppositional energy, and maybe you feel there's been an injustice, you can rest assured that she is there as an ally, helping you overcome these challenges of the past. She's really there to show you the strength that you've had all along, the power you've held all along, but not just see it, witness it, recognize it, but really embody it in a very balanced way. A very balanced way. It's a very regal kind of energy. Let's do a cut of the deck here to get some further guidance coming in. You see, there is something you really need to stand for here. We got greed, bringing in the fire of inspiration, bringing in Awen, the musing energy, something that does give you a sense of purpose and inspiration as you step into the summer season. And this is a fire that you have been charged to tend, and you need to guard it vigilantly. You also should not back down at this time. Greed is here to say, stand up for what you believe is right. What's right cannot be compromised, even when you have to face opposition or discomfort. So keep this in mind as you're moving through these squares. You will be given that fire of inspiration that allows you to work with this material that may seem frustrating at this time, and sort of do a little bit of alchemy work where you can transform that energy into something that can take on a new form here. You know, as something may seem at this time like it's quite intractable, but it can be turned into almost like a molten state where it can take on a new form. And I don't know why I'm seeing this, but I'm seeing this imagery of blowing glass. It's that kind of vibe. Something shatters perhaps, but there's a way to take that energy of what's been shattered, probably an illusion. There's a lot of that happening right now with this energy as the light is building. We have to remember that the light also illuminates things. So we're seeing some things come to an end, but we're also seeing a promise within the ending that we couldn't see before. Okay, so do pay attention to this, because something really is going from a state of being shattered into coming into a new form that is like you moving in partnership with this creative force. And you're very sensitive at this time with white Tara. So we got some Dakini medicine coming in here. And white Tara is the embodiment of all the other Dakinis. It's that energy that produces a certain radiance, a certain clarity without any inclusions that makes us impenetrable as the diamond. And so there's also something here about creating a beauty bubble around you at this time, something that really holds the energy that you want to bask in, the energy you want to luxuriate in, right? So just conjure up a really beautiful frequency around you. Get your energy grounded out. Drop in deep. See if you might be able to find some space tonight to do a little moon bathing. Maybe keep a candle vigil going. It is customary on solstice, summer solstice, to keep the fires burning. Or if you want to do any kind of blessing work, throwing any kind of blessing herbs upon a fire, like some bay leaves, some sage, maybe a little tobacco as an offering. You could also bring in the quality of anything you want to release to the fire too for transformation. So where you are feeling blockage, you can give that over to the fire too. But do be aware with this energy, everything that's been going on collectively at this time, your sensitivity is really peaked. And there's like the beauty and the bane of the sensitivity. The beauty of it is it puts you really in touch with your senses. It allows you to feel things more deeply. It allows you to pick up the guidance that you need more readily. It shows you things that you weren't able to see before. It takes you to the depth of your emotions, but it also inspires a great sensitivity that awakens not only compassion, but also vision to a certain musing energy that's about to pour through you. I almost see it like pouring through you from the moon. It's got like drawing down the moon kind of energy, like the lunar essence really pouring through, bringing in that quality of awen, inspiration that lights the heart fire. Really beautiful energy here. And you are becoming increasingly sensitive at this time. So it's important that you create a little space for yourself, especially in relation to any harsh relationship dynamics that you're navigating, or any harsh environments you may find yourself in, any situations you're dealing with. You might also have more chemical sensitivities at this time. So just do what you can to create more silkiness, more softening energy around you. Even working with the energy of something like selenite, which is very silky and softening, and can just sort of clear out all the static from the channel, because there is a lot that wants to funnel through you at this time. That higher guidance that you need is readily accessible. And the guidance is coming in to illuminate your alignment with the star. We got a lot of star magic coming in. And it's all about providing you with a roadmap, your pathway through the stars to that one star that was made just for you and you alone, your North Star, your guiding light. Okay. Other minerals, other crystals, other stones you might want to work with for those of you that are really drawn to this energy. Some of you that might need like a little bit more earthy, you can work with another form of gypsum, desert rose. It looks like a rose. It's really beautiful stone, but it also has a silky energy. It's just a little bit more rooted, a little bit more grounding. You could also work with kyanite, would be lovely. Rose quartz, of course. I have rutilated quartz coming through as bringing a lot of clarity around the alchemy work to be done to help you see through any kind of illusion or self-deception, as well as helping you make it through some significant gateways of initiation that we have coming up. I know that we have this coming up because right at the time when there was the transit of Jupiter moving into Cancer, where it is exalted, and it brings about that rebirth of Venus energy, or another way you could look at it as the journey of Ishtar, who goes down to shed all of her adornments, all those things that are getting in between her and her purest essence before the gates in the underworld, until she arrives naked, bare, vulnerable before Ishkriegel, and then experiences this point of integration where she takes all of that shadowy material and she transforms it, and she rises up like Inanna, queen of the heavens, who's often represented as having a star crown. So there really is something about this energy coming through here that we need to be very aware of at this time, that we are moving into the exaltation of this energy. And so there's a process we're going through. Perhaps there's 9 gateways of initiation that we are going through, much like Ishtar did. And we do have Ishtar also very much aligned with that Lionsgate energy that will be coming in once we arrive in Leo season in August, we'll experience that Lion's Gate. So there's a pivotal point, a pivotal junction there that's going to be coming in. And all you need to do is, yes, I like this, Mawu, really connect with the earth at this time. Get out in the elementals. This will give you a lot of clarity of vision. This will help you feel supported, right? So I do feel like that grounding is very helpful as well. Let's bring in a few grounding stones that can be really helpful at this time. Rainbow obsidian has been coming in pretty strongly lately. I also feel labradorite could be a good one to work with. And for those of you who feel drawn to it, the opals are very supportive too. And that may seem like it's more of a mystical stone, but it can be very helpful for taking those higher energies that do feel like they're a little bit intangible and being able to really grok them, embody them, and also deliver the messages that they provide. Opal tends to be a stone of seers, right? So there's something here too where the earth is really wanting you to make contact with it. The magic is in the earth. And so some of you may feel really drawn to work with stones as a way to sort of hold a piece of that magic in your hands, maybe to carry with you as a touchstone and a reminder. Right? Beautiful energy there. And back here with that Mother Earth energy. And now we're going to look at what medicine do we need to carry with us at this time? What planetary energies do we need to invoke here? We're going to work with the Herbal Astrology Oracle. I've pre-shuffled all these, so we'll look at the baseline energy and then we'll go ahead and get some cards out on the board. Interesting. So on the bottom of the deck here, we have cannabis, detachment, and it is coming in with the energy of both Saturn and Neptune. So that's pretty wild. A lot of you may be feeling like this. You may be feeling like with the number 31 coming in here, that's that 4 energy. So that's that raw power of the Emperor, and it is in the house of Aries at this time. So a lot of you may be feeling like the power that's moving through your experiences, your relationships, your circumstances, and the way they're changing is intense. And some of you may be feeling like you want to check out a little bit, like you want to detach a little bit. I feel like there's something coming in here about heading more into the visionary side of that. For those of you who do work with cannabis and you're able to work with it in a grounded way where it doesn't make you detach, but it actually takes you more into the center of what you're feeling and you can hold space for it in a constructive way, you might be working with a little bit of this medicine. But for those of you that are feeling like you're kind of turning to vices or different coping mechanisms to create a little distance between you and what you're feeling, I encourage you to go deeper into the center of what feels unsettling and maybe just create a calming space around it. Or maybe if there's somebody that's a trusted ally, a dear friend or a family member, somebody that you feel very safe with, or somebody who's like a spiritual compadre, like you're both walking the path together and you're supporting each other in your spiritual growth. Maybe drop in for some deep talks. Work with that energy of the squares to not avoid what they're showing you, to do the work of breaking through your illusions and seeing things as they are. And then you can really work with the mutability of the Neptunian energy to come up with some creative solutions for moving forward here. Okay. All right, let's see. What kind of medicine do we need to work with here through the summer season? So we're kind of getting a summer view, a little bit of a summer quest read here. We'll look more deeply into the trine when it's time for that in the fall, but I just sort of want to get a lay of the land here for us. As we're moving through these energies, we do have the new moon in Cancer coming in on the 25th. So the energy will be a little bit softer than it is right now at that time. Yeah, there's a lot of cleansing that's happening right now. And your ability, medicine woman, medicine man, is waking up within you. You're getting your chops right now. You see, we have that energy of Mars and the moon hanging out there, and it is that new moon energy. So you see here with milk thistle, what has you so heated right now, or what has you in a place of self-protection, will really be calmed and cooled by that lunar essence, and there will be a cleansing, like something will be transformed at that time. And there is a little bit of magic to pluck through this cycle that will lead you on a journey of healing the deepest wound of yourself. We have to remember we've been traveling with that Aries and Chiron energy. And so all this action is going down in that house of the Fool and the brand new cycle with the Aries archetype there. So this is the time when the strength awakens in you that helps you overcome the challenges that have held you back. It's coming in with the number 23 there. So that is that Hierophant energy. And this is something that brings about renewal, but it's also a crowning moment when we awaken the true aspect of Aries and Chiron, which is healer, heal thyself. So this is when you really reclaim the ability to integrate your experiences to heal yourself from these past wounds. And I also feel there's a lot of you that are gaining empowerment through this. Like there is some medicine that you now have the ability to hold that you couldn't hold before. So this is an empowerment of a magic, of a healing ability. And you may not understand it right now, but this is the beginning of the waterway for you and the work of purpose you're meant to do in the future. Now there's some crossing energy here, so let's see what we have. Ooh, this is powerful. Do you see? This is road opener energy with Mukuna here, coming in with the number 16. Yes, it's a bit of a tower. Yes, it's taking something that was unconscious and it's making it conscious. There's something we see now that we couldn't see before. It is an awakening moment, but it's also something that transforms our vision through moving forward. And there is a cleansing that is happening here, even though it may feel a little disruptive, even though it may feel unpredictable, it may feel a little bit of chaos, it's actually creative. There's something here that gives us the empowerment of the cauldron of Dagda. This is when we can experience an integration, a healing, and a state of renewal. And there is promise on the other side of the storm. There are gifts on the other side of the storm. We see that here with the rainbow in the backdrop. And this is the start of a journey. So this has big Raido energy. This is the energy of harnessing our horsepower. This is not something that is going to be transformed overnight. It is going to be a full turning of the wheel. And you will see the promise and the transformation of everything that's taken place. But the time you arrive at the close of this transit of Jupiter in Cancer, after the next summer solstice that we've experienced on June 30th in 2026, okay? The solstice, of course, will come before that closure to this cycle, but you will see how much things have transformed between now and next solstice. And I do feel you will close that cycle with something really to celebrate here. Your faith will be renewed and restored, okay? So beautiful, beautiful energy coming through here, right? I want to get a little guidance, though, as far as the summer is concerned, from the Pathfinder, bringing in that wolf medicine to give us a vision of how we need to connect our coordinates that align with our North Star from that place of our heart, sourced by our heart fire. Yes, yes, yes. We have Lasya of Parvati. And Parvati is that creative feminine life force energy. You see, there's a vision that is coming in like a white flame to light up Ajna, the third eye chakra. It's not a road that first presents itself outwardly to you. It may shake up something in your outer reality, but what you're grokking here with this vision is something of beauty that is define what you're seeing going down in your material reality around you. But this is the seed of potential you're being asked to focus on. So close your eyes, turn them inward and upward on this point that is like your internal GPS, and you will find your coordinates. And not through force, even though things may seem destabilizing. Again, with the number 32 here, 5 energy coming in quite strongly. Life path 5 may really be experiencing a lot of upheaval at this time that's making them question their faith. There's something about this. Also, that Hierophant energy, Taurus, you could be experiencing this strongly as well. So there's this point of really looking at your second house or looking where you have Taurus placements to really help you understand that any destabilization that you're feeling right now, it is something that is sanctioned by your soul, and there is internal guidance coming in. It's just the seed of a vision right now. So you're meant to spend more time in meditative space, creating the opportunity, the avenue for the vision to come through. And you will find that this helps you enter more of a state of soft receptivity where you may have been feeling, I just saw like a cactus in my mind's eye. So it makes me think of like outwardly prickly, right? But cacti have a real capacity for storing up a lot of that water, right? A lot of the nurturing energy. So it's like this waterway is within you, but there's things in your outer environment that you're tuning into that are making you feel prickly and defensive. This is why you need to mock up this energy around you so it can buffer that. Because if you can buffer that and then enter more of a meditative space, whether that comes through spending time in nature or listening to beautiful music and just getting into the feeling of your body and allowing yourself to start to tap into the creative energy in a softer way, maybe through just gently swaying, maybe allowing a dance to awaken within you. A lot of this energy will come through creatively, but the more that you do this, the more you find that you're going to enter this place of, it's like a inward flowering, okay? So you're going to start to feel like all of these layers of tight, intractable energy, almost like a tight bud starting to come undone, like this unfurling within that creates more this softness, more this openness, more this yielding, less resistance. And that's when it's all going to start to pour through you. And it's beautiful, okay? It's a thing of beauty. And this is where your focus should be, what's germinating in here, okay? It's something that gives you sustenance, even when you feel like you're moving through a bit of drought energy. Okay, that's sort of the basis of the matter. So let's get some more energy coming in here for this summer quest for the collective here. For anyone who receives this message at any time, it is truly a timeless message. Let's see what wants to come through here. What frequency do we need to attune to? What opens the road? What opens the path apart? What opens the path to the blessings of the exaltation of the Jupiter energy and that Venusian goddess energy where we can be a bit like the living goddess? Ooh. Well, this certainly is the point of receptivity with vulva cedar. You see, you're really awakening as a channel. A lot of you are awakening as a channel. If you're not already connected to this, you're really going to be having this come in. It's almost like this Ace of Cups energy is at her crown. Spirit wants to pour through you. When we're working with Satyr, it means that you hold all the knowledge within you. This is activation of the teacher within. This is recognizing that you are a record keeper. You are a wisdom holder. Not a lot of people that do this kind of work really talk to those who receive their messages about this. And we really do need to bring more of it forward, because really the message that is coming through so strongly at this time for the collective is to recognize that you are a seer. You have a direct line to the mystic. You have a direct line to this higher guidance. You are that. There is no separation between you and this guidance. This is about awakening the teacher within and seeing something that you couldn't see before. It is coming through with the number 30, which breaks down to 3. It is the Empress energy. Now we have the balancing. Since we had that Emperor energy show up earlier, we have the Venusian energy of the Empress coming through, resonating with the archetypes of both Libra and Taurus. And so this is really about receiving the gifts of the Empress. So you have to be able to receive. If you want to come into that beautiful flowering of that Empress energy, or that energy of Inanna, Queen of the Heavens, if you want to experience what it feels like to have that moment of the coronation where you're wearing your star of crowns, when all the reasons to hope have been renewed, you have to soften. You can't be prickly. You have to soften. You have to top into. Top into. I wanted to say tap into, but there's something about top into. Top into. It starts at the top and it trickles down. So yeah, you need to put a little more influence. A little more influence on the crown itself. I have something about anointing the crown with some kind of blessing oil. I have floral energy coming in around that. You could work with any kind of flower that's really speaking to you to open up this channel, to allow this guidance to come through for you, so you can really come into that place of internal flow, awaken the seer within you that will allow you to muse. See, there's the creative wants to play with you, but in order for the creative to really play with you and bring about the kind of miracles and magic that can come through that state of synergy, you need to be able to recognize that you're one. You're not separate. You're one. You need to find the peace that comes in recognizing that your forces are one. There is no division here. Because when the 0 comes in with the 3, the zeros signify not only the start of the new cycle, but also that there's gifts here that are going to come through. 38, 33 on the clock. There is communication here that ignites the vision forward. And it brings about perfect alignment between you and Creator. And it also brings the vision that comes through that at this time it seems intangible, because what you're seeing in your outer reality doesn't match up. You don't see how there's the potential for this magic here, but you will. It'll be quite a different view when you get to the other side of this transit. Okay, let's go ahead and do a cut of the deck here. Just get a little bit more information about this path. Do you see Tantra of 639 hertz? Some of you may want to work with this hertz frequency to help you unite those seemingly polar opposites of the masculine and the feminine. The reality is the masculine and the feminine. I mean, this is all Hermeticism. The masculine and the feminine polarities need to come into a state of union within, because the masculine is the avenue that the feminine creative force works through. And so this is very much an internal process. This is a state of tantra. And you do not need a romantic partner to be able to experience tantra. Tantra are practices that help you achieve this state of union within yourself. You can achieve tantra, that state of what is called the conjuncto, the sacred marriage of the masculine, the feminine within. It is sort of that philosopher's stone. It is the highest aspiration of the alchemist. You can achieve this through working with things like chatak, candle gazing, focusing the vision on the flame, to be able to have communion with the flame, to light the internal flame within. You can experience it through yoga. You can experience it through meditation. You can experience it through pranayama, through breath work. All of these are avenues that allow the creative force to come through and transform, but it requires showing up and doing that work. That is what Tantra is. Too often in Western culture, it's been overly sexualized, and Tantra are merely means to achieving that state of union where you awaken the teacher, the creator, the creative force, and the avenue, the way. You are the way within you. Okay, this helps us pass through that gateway of initiation represented by the moon with the number 18, also working with that house of Pisces, having our blind spots illuminated, overcoming the limitations that hold us back, the hidden enemies. We have to recognize wherever we feel like we have an opponent outside of us that's facing off with us, it's reflection that's showing up for us to illuminate the hidden enemy within, so we can sort of bring it up out of its hiding place, out of the subconscious, and make it a conscious thing where it can be transformed. It's also the closing of a karmic cycle. We are entering a brand new cycle of learning here. And so there's something here about 639 hertz can be a real support in doing this alchemizing work at this time. So you might want to bring that in. Gorgeous energy. It really is that energy of Inanna, queen of the heavens, or the feminine consort of the masculine god, where we got Shekinah coming in here with number 6, activating the vision. There is no choice that needs to be made when it comes to the lovers, because there is no separation. See, that's what always presents the quagmire of the choice of the lovers, is thinking it's either this or that, when really the way through is the merging of the two. This is the exaltation of that Venusian energy, number 6, coming in strongly with the Venusian energy, coming in strongly for Libra, coming in strongly for Taurus. But this is also really about that choice, the choice that we were presented with, that came in with the challenge of Jupiter in Gemini, okay? So there is this activating point that's coming in here. This is the exaltation of what was the challenge of the crossroads, the choice of the lovers, seeing that the choice itself, that the challenge itself is the thing of beauty that provides the gift and brings about the renewal of the hope of the star. Beautiful energy. Life path 6 could be factoring in strongly too. Life path 3. Okay, just some energies to throw out there that might really be already sort of tapping into the exaltation energy. It was 44:33 on the clock when I brought that in. Right. I'm going to bring in a true quest read. And since this is the time when FAERIE is at its zenith, I thought we would bring in the Tarot of the Dragons here. Yes, we do have judgment energy on the scene. We can see there is a gateway of initiation before us. It does require that we make it through a waterway there and a certain guardian at the gate. And on the other side here, we have the Two of Pentacles, which is really wild because it reminds me of, is it this or that? Sort of the choice that we're presented with when we are at the crossroads that can keep us sort of juggling things back and forth in our minds for quite some time. But we see here there's ships that are ready to sail. And so the waterway is opening up. Now that we got that energy of Jupiter moving out of Gemini, it's moving in, it's already in Cancer. And so we're having this transformation of the energy. Now it's time to tap more into the intuition, more into the feelings, more into the senses, okay? Once you allow the visionary experiences to come in and you don't congest it with worrisome thoughts or trying to overly define it or put it in a square, put it in a box, unpack those boxes, you'll really be able to flow better with this energy and you'll be able to make it through that first gateway of initiation. It looks like many of you are going to be preparing to take an action with the Spear of Lute. It's going to lead you to a very significant point of healing on your path. That's what's up ahead first before we get to the blessing. We know there needs to be some transformation here. All right, so let's look at the nature of the quest before us, opening up here with Letha's Summer Solstice and how it will ripen, how it will quicken, how it will progress through the summer season, okay? So we're just kind of tapping into the summer energy. But again, whenever you find this, whenever you come to this, even if it's after the turning of the wheel and the season of summer has passed, it's absolutely fine. Again, these messages are timeless. Perhaps it's highlighting something that you need to look back on at the time of this summer solstice in 2025. If you come to this down the road, it's providing you with a reflecting point or a journey that's about to be continued. Pick up where it last left off, this kind of energy. Okay, let's bring in the protective energy of those dragons that help ward our treasure, ward that gold that is the reward of the alchemist who transforms the leaden stuff of the soul into something exalted. Nature of the quest, Page of Wands. Yes, this is the moment when we find our fire again. So this is a quest for fire, a quest to reclaim our fire and the wisdom to know how to wield it wisely, to blaze a trail forward. It is the Spear of Lute energy. There's also a message that is going to come in here that is going to prompt us to move into action, to take some new kind of action. It was 48:11 on the clock when that came in. So yes, something karmic is going through a process of transformation. The transformation is to bring about alignment with the new way through, the new cycle. And I do feel it brings an initiation point. There's a little bit of having to step into the unknown with this. Okay, give us more information about this, dragons. Give us information about this quest before us through the summer. 5 of Pentacles. Wandering in the barren lands. This is why you're going to need to shore up that water. You know, you can't be so prickly. You have to tap into your sources of nourishment within. Because you see, we got this stag energy here. It's that like Lord of the Wild Wood energy there that is also, to me, really represents the hunt and that transformational process of making our way to the Stone of Destiny. Something is shifting here. There is promise of this reward. There is promise of the gold once we arrive on the other side of the storm. And there's sort of camouflaging elements that are in play right now that is concealing this from us. So we might look around us and we might not be able to have the vision that can see what spirit is aligning for us. We have eagle energy up here, okay? That's that great spirit energy. And it's pretty wild because, like I was saying before, we opened up this cycle with Jupiter moving into Cancer, and I saw this vision in the sky that was pointed out to me of this eagle that was circling, but there were also 3 vultures circling with the eagle. Okay, so great spirit saying before we can move into that exaltation, there are certain things that we have to allow to decompose. There's certain things that have to be released. There's like the carrion's call. There's the carrion's call that's coming through. The vulture's path is being activated. The vulture's path is a kenning of Loki. So there is a little bit of tricky energy to navigate here, but there's also the ways that we can trick ourselves into believing that we're headed through barren land that is actually quite fertile. It just needs us to plant the seeds to activate its potential. And these opportunities will be presented to us to affect this change. 5 aces of pentacles coming through that transforms what seems like a field where nothing can take root into fields of gold. So we do have to be aware of the way that these potentials are camouflaged from us by the trickster with this fox medicine here. And it's necessary. It's necessary because you have to be able to have the vision to navigate this terrain. It's so important to have vision to be able to navigate this terrain, because anytime we're going through an initiation as alchemists, we have to have blind faith, right? If you can't have blind faith, how can you pluck a gem out of the darkness? How can you really claim one of those treasures, one of those jewels of the Tuatha De Danann, if you lack the vision that can see the light even within the dark? And that is a big lesson with the summer solstice energy, because we do have to remember that while the sun is reaching its zenith and will be just in about an hour and 25 minutes from now, there will be, from this point forward, the darkness starting to grow bit by bit as the days pass. Okay, it is that dichotomous energy, but they're 2 sides of the same coin. There's no separation. The darkness, the light are really moving in harmony with each other. Where we experience difficulty is when we lose the balance of holding the darkness and light within ourselves, right? So as we start to move into more time of the darkness quickening, okay, after the pass of the sun at its zenith, we have to remember to continue to generate that light within ourselves to make up for that apparent deficit in the outer reality, right? But the light is always there, even within the dark, and that is the hope of the star, right? Okay, important to know. What is the nemesis that we need to be aware of that could trip us up? This tricky energy that could have us falsely believe that we somehow have lost the keys to the kingdom, when we know all the keys we need to open the doors to the kingdom are within us. We just have to find them in their hiding places. It often is a painful process because it does require some shattering of illusion to find where we've tucked a bit of that potential to activate the magic within, right? It's often brought about through trial or challenge or the unknown and the courage to face what we may fear. Okay, so let's see, what is the potential nemesis here as we're moving through this territory in the summer season? What is the potential nemesis here? Ooh, both in reverse. 7 energy coming in with the Chariot in reverse. That's that Cancerian energy right there, okay? And we also have the Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay, so that is the Nemesis. Not seeing a way forward because we feel like our prayers aren't being answered. We feel like our magic isn't landing. Our manifestations aren't coming in because it feels like the very fabric of our reality is morphing before our eyes. But you see, it's the transmutation point, 5511 on the clock. There has to be a dissolution. Things have to come undone before they can come together again. That is the waterway of the double spiral, all right? You have to have both. It also makes me think of that dance of the spiral dance, and the way that it moves clockwise and counterclockwise. You know, both are essential for the spiral of life, for the creative force. So there's something here that is being sacrificed, okay? There's a way through, a way forward that you're no longer meant to travel because a new road is opening up for you. That is the very thing you've been calling into being. You set this in motion. 56 on the clock. There's that 11 energy. You set this in motion. Okay, so accept where the road is closed. The road that leads you forward carries you. It rises up to meet you. It finds the wind at your back. You know, there's a momentum. There's a momentum. There's a locomotion with this road that opens, okay? So this is what you need to recognize. Where you feel like there's no way forward and you feel like you're not getting what you wanted, you're meant to have a little bit of vision of FAERIE. FAERIE is able to see that what is upside down is right side up. Topsy-turvy energy coming in here. What's upside down is right side up because of the perspective that it provides. It allows you to see something you couldn't see before, and it provides you with a very significant alignment. That came in with 56, 56, 11, 11. This is a magic moment, even as it appears that the stagecoach is transforming back into just an ordinary pumpkin. It's not so. It's the moment when everything completely transforms. But if you get sucked into this energy, you could miss the way through. You could keep yourself at the crossroads even as the gateway of initiation is opening up to you. Okay, what is the ally? What is the spirit ally for us in navigating this territory? Wow. Temperance. Look at that. Ooh, I love it. And it is the rainbow dragon. Rainbow dragon is associated with the elven star, bringing in something to bring hope for the journey ahead. You don't have this hope yet. You will receive it. There's something that is going to pour into you here this summer that is going to inspire you. It is going to give you hope. It is also your cauldron of Dagda that aligns with the North Star, the North Node. This is alchemy work here, okay? So there is something coming in here to pour into you. And this is a moment of creativity being activated, right? This is really like Mother Earth energy with the tortoise. The tortoise is also really holding down the energy of water clan too on the medicine wheel. Water and earth, it really is that energy of temperance, okay? So water, earth is what we need to work with here. We need to be able to really tap into the sustenance of that water to nurture the earth so things will grow, and we can arrive at that North Node point, right? This is the energy that's really going to support us, to trust that a new world is coming into being. When we look at a lot of indigenous mythos, there is the story of the tortoise really being the ground of creativity that actually brings new land into being, is the formation of the earth itself. And so there's something here we need to understand. Even though everything seems like it's in this state of mutability, there's something that's tangible that's being grounded in reality here. So you need to allow this to dissolve, these illusions, this way through that maybe you had your heart set on, but it's actually going through a rerouting here, and something's being alchemized that is truly going to be a blessing. There's something that's a blessing that comes in here, a gift that comes in here. Temperance energy, it is the gift of Jupiter. It's the energy of Gabo, the energy of the rune Gabo, the gifts, the blessings that can only be bestowed upon us by providence, by the divine. It is not something that can be sourced from humans. It's sourced from something otherworldly, and it's nothing that can be taken from you. It can only be stripped of you if you don't have an appreciation or recognition of the gift. And that's something that you will come to understand in time as well. You will understand the blessing of what's dissolving right now, right? So stay connected to this. This is a very powerful energy. You are awakening the alchemist within. Even if it feels like the road is blocked, it's not. The blockage is a benefit. Maybe there's road work going on here, right? Okay, so you can't just keep driving on a road that needs repairs. There might be certain elements that need to be rerouted here before you experience the integration point. You're going a bit on a side quest. The side quest is your ally, and it eventually reroutes, to the path ahead. The chariot arrives on the scene that carries you forward toward that field of dreams. Okay. Lay of the land moving forward here through the summer. What is the lay of the land? Just kind of give us a little bit of a picture of the lay of the land as we move through these summer months. This energy we're moving through. Also, I can see this as a little bit too, it's coming in now, hold your horses kind of moment. I'm thinking that because temperance makes me think of Sagittarius. A little bit, hold your horses here for a moment. Don't charge ahead just yet. Maybe you're putting the cart before the horse. You know what I'm saying? You need the horse before the cart. You need to generate a little bit of horsepower here. You might want to slow down a little bit, especially because we're in pre-shadow pretty soon here for Mercury retrograde. So I got that piece coming in too. Hold your horses a little bit. There's something about that Lion's Gate. There's a reason why I brought that in. Perhaps there's an obstacle that's being removed, something that was blocking the road in the past that then provides like clear passageway once you arrive at that Lion's Gate in Leo season. Okay, more details about the lay of the land, please. More details about the lay of the land here. Okay. We got quite a few that came out. Seven of Wands, hold your ground despite the opposition that you are facing. You have the strength to endure with strength here. You also have the protection of that rainbow dragon that's allowing you to really harness the power of the rainbow to reclaim hope. This is being able to work with this material that you're dealing with and truly find a sense of empowerment in your ability to see beyond your external circumstances here. You're being aligned with a core truth that is going to help you cut through an illusion. Oh, beautiful. And it brings you the empowerment of the elven star. With the star there, activates your path of wizardry moving forward with the hermit. Illuminates something. Once you ponder your orb, you will see the guiding light that leads you forward. Mm. Ooh, it ends with the Seven of Swords. Oh, wow, this is fascinating. Opens and closes with the seven. I have a really interesting message about that. Double sevens, okay, synchronicity to look out for. That will let you know when you're moving through. This feels like an initiatory cycle to me. It's like an initiation into the elven star to reclaim the hope. That's the thing about the rainbow dragon in relation to the elven star. The rainbow dragon helps you retrieve certain magics, empowerments, gifts, the gifts of Gabo that have been bestowed upon you by spirit, but they may bring you a certain challenge to rise to here, where you will face some opposition. You have to remember to hold your ground when you're facing this opposition, because you've already experienced an elevation above these energies, these outsiders, these interlopers that may be trying to impose their will upon your road ahead. You're already out of reach of this. Just make sure that you don't sacrifice the truth that you have already come into possession of or will shortly, that actually protects you. It's the thing that allows you to cut through glamour, cut through illusion. This could also be other wizards, other alchemists you're encountering that are trying to cast illusions on you, trying to have you buy into something that appears to be the fight of your life, that's nothing but a storm in a teacup. I do feel like you will be able to see through this illusion once you really tap into that waterway, when you start to tap into your senses more, when you get out of your head through working with these methods that we brought in initially. Okay, this is what will have you unlocking the potential of the elven star and really reclaiming those magics, those gifts that have been decreed to you, and they will awaken the seer within you. You will be able to ponder that orb and know exactly the route you need to travel to activate your North Star. And this is the real interesting message I'm getting here, because I do feel like you have opposing elements here. I also believe you may have people that are trying to swipe a certain power you hold or a certain magic you're going to come into possession of from you, all right? And they are on the scene, and they may think that they're catching you slipping here, right? Because we can see here you're holding on to this bone, okay? And you're sort of snoozing here. That's what I got. And here's this energy on the periphery that's keeping an eye on you, hell bent on deceiving you, pulling a little trickery here, and pulling off a heist. They want to take this bone from you, something that you've really had to hold on to, right? Like a dog with a bone, something you fetched, and something that is rooted in your bones. It's something that comes from your ancestral bloodline. This is something that's in your roots. This is a gift that has been decreed upon you by providence. So there's no way that this can truly be usurped here. And so you may feel this energy, but you don't even really need to worry about it with the Two of Swords, because with the Two of Swords here, this outside energy that you may sort of pick up, okay, you may pick up this energy trying to tap in, it's blocked from being able to take this from you. So you don't need to be so vigilant when it comes to this outside energy. All you need to do is continue to tap into your senses. Keep yourself in the state of constantly purifying yourself, cleansing your vision, making sure that you're not looking at your life and the potential and your choices through the eyes of another and their vision that's been projected upon you here. As long as you hold on to this clear vision, it's okay for you to find spots of rest. And in fact, with the lilies over here, there's already indication that the sun is about to rise on the horizon. There is a way to find your place in the sun here. You may even be sort of like, this is an interesting energy. Okay, I am picking up like a little bit of guile here too. It's a little bit of Sun Tzu, Art of War. You may even be sort of casting a little bit of a glamour yourself, like, I'm holding on to this for dear life. I won't surrender it. I won't let it go. But it's actually almost like a decoy. Like, yeah, go ahead. Come after this thing. That's done. That's dusted. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. What was destroyed by the fire tested truth, I'm happy to return back to its burial ground. And you're actually blocking the true vision of what you really are holding fast to in your heart. Ooh, crafty. Crafty. I like it. I like that. Ted agrees. Ted agrees. I think Ted also wants a cookie. So I want to get him a cookie. Very clever. Here you go, Ted. Ted's such a good fetch. Okay, very interesting. All right, so where you are experiencing this opposition, I'm really curious about this. What is the issue here? Why is there this desire to try to swipe someone's gifts or take over a road that's rising up to meet you when their own path is wanting exploration? Why is there this beef? What is the meat of this matter here that we need to be aware of as we move through the summer season and we deal with these oppositional energies? What is the meat of the matter here? What do we need to be aware of, dragons? There's some guidance here. Ooh, this landed right on the star basis of the matter. Look at this, 4 of Wands. Do you see? There really is some moment of celebration coming in for you. There's an arrival point here. I think people sense it. They sense it. They know that there's some transformation that's been activated in your life. There's like, oh, this butterfly medicine. It's hard to see. There you go. There's all these butterflies that are flying off here. See, you're getting your freedom here. You're getting upliftment. You're getting that exaltation. You're not in the chrysalis state. Like, you're about to really pass through that gateway of initiation that sets you on the road to the manifestation of this dream that you seeded long ago. But we have to remember that, you know, with the butterfly medicine, there's the stages of development. And there's also the dissolution, you know, the caterpillar has to completely liquefy. It has to become something other than it was before. It's in a state of becoming what will get it to that place of exaltation, this arrival point here. And there's something very powerful happening here, and people sense it, okay? So where you're experiencing this sort of blockage energy or oppositional energy coming from others, they sense that this transformation is underway. Yes. See, this is interesting because what's resting right on top of the sword, what's resting resting on the sword, I mean, it's true, resting on the sword of truth, resting on what you learned through the acquisition of Fragorok, the answer here, resting right on top of the star, okay, is the 4 of Swords. So there's something here that's illuminating that this moment of celebration is coming for you. And I feel like where you have this outsider energy that's been keeping an eye on you, they don't understand. They're like, why aren't you suffering? You see, the Three of Swords is what they wanted to crown you with here. They didn't want you to receive that crown of stars, okay? They want you to be crowned with these swords, with these mental troubles, with these stresses, with these fears, with this sense of being held back or restrained in some way, being put in that square energy in the box. But see, you were able to cut through, or you will be shortly if you're not there yet. You're going to cut through that illusion through the acquisition of frag rock. Many of you already have frag rock. Many of you have already arrived at this truth. But for those of you that haven't yet, that haven't been able to see beyond an illusion, oh, it's coming. And once you have this truth, you will understand the wisdom of resting in that truth and holding fast to it, because it gives you the answers you need. You know that there's destiny at work here. Okay. But this is the reason for the opposition. I mean, the only thing I can really think of here is a sort of a greedy or covetous energy, or a rather smug energy that could have come from an opponent who felt like they could best you, perhaps by something sneaky they did with the Seven of Swords, or something they tried to swipe from you, or they're in the process of trying to swipe from you. They may not recognize that what they are trying to swipe from you is just taking away from you a source of betrayal. When they see that, I think that it's going to be a source of consternation. That may be why this energy sort of like comes at you, or maybe tries to throw more at you, because they recognize that in trying to take something from you, they took on something that actually sabotaged them. And now they've inherited a grief that they wanted to put on your crown. Ooh, that's potent. Interesting. Okay, let's understand what your work is here, because this is really important with the Saturn energy rolling out. What are the consequences that the collective is going to have to deal with as a result of the past actions? Because here at BroadCoven, we don't think we're perfect. We don't think our shit don't stink. We know we all have our stuff to work through. So it's very important that we're conscious of the ways that we can sabotage ourselves, or the ways that we can come out of alignment with our North Star. All right, so let's give an opportunity for that clarity to come through here. And let's see, what is our Dharma? All right. Karma are the lessons that you were born into, that you inherit in this life. Dharma is the work that you need to do to integrate those lessons, okay? Dharma does not necessarily mean that, hey, this is your blessing. Dharma is more saying you have certain karmic lessons you need to learn, and this is your path. And it's best to approach it with the spirit of Dharma. In other words, willingly taking the work upon oneself, not projecting outside oneself, not trying to course correct others, but understanding when you need to get your coordinates straight here. So let's see, what are the consequences of the collective's past actions here through the summer? Beautiful. I have such a good collective here, man. I really do. I have a good collective here. You all really are doing the work. Look at that, Emperor. Oh, you are retrieving all the keys. You are awakening all the keys. You already know all the keys to the kingdom are within you. And you already know this is protected, so you don't need to fight for it. You just need to step into it. You just need to hold court over it. You just need to embody it because it's already here. Even though it can't be seen, it's already here. That is that energy of Aries. We'll go ahead and talk about all the energies on the board once we close this out. I think I'm going to start really doing that, just sort of, unless it seems really pertinent in the moment. We'll bring in all the different astrological signs at the end so you can place them appropriately where they belong, okay, to better understand not only how it's working within your own natal chart, but also with others that you're dealing in your personal storylines, all right? Okay. There's shadow and light in every sign, all right? So this is really about, really just holding your ground, already being in that position of just sort of warding your kingdom, holding court over your kingdom here, all right? Having that trust, having that faith. Four of Cups. Okay, so this is the work you need to do. You may have been sort of keeping a watchful eye over something, a desire, something you really had your heart set on, some kind of celebration you wanted, or some kind of healing that you wanted. But Spirit's offering you a different avenue to get where you want to go. And it may be coming through in a different way than you expected. It may be taking on a rather unusual form, or you may at first see this as something that's like cursed and not the blessing that it is. But you're really being asked to trust that where this disruption is coming, it is your renewal energy, okay? It will bring you the healing and the celebration you seek down the road, but you're being asked to accept this Ace of Cups here that comes in for you in the summer. Okay, this opportunity. It's the miraculous chalice. If you let yourself receive what you've been more opposed to sort of reject up to this point. No, that was interesting the way that came through. More opposed to reject. It's like you rejecting this offer that comes through this sort of like side quest path that's opening up. That's what's going to keep you in opposition with your path and this celebration, this healing that you desire here. Okay, so this is the work you need to do. You need to open up to, because often when we look at their original imagery of the Four of Cups, we have a figure sitting there on the roots of a tree staring at, what they wanted. It doesn't seem to be taking form, and they're totally closed off. But until you really open up and allow, you're not going to even recognize the opportunity this is. So really look at what you can do to kind of come into that space of trusting, softening, opening up to this, coming more into the heart. All right, good to know. What is the power to be gained through mastery for the collective? What is this power that is to be gained, or this magic that is to be gained, this transforming force that is to be gained by the collective through mastery? Okay, coming through as a crossing energy. Again, it's all landing on top of that star, okay, and this Four of Cups. Oh my goodness. Is that not sumptuous? Wow, look at this. We have the Lovers coming in with the Two of Cups. Do you see? This is union. Now, this is coming through on multiple levels. First of all, it's the union within that releases one from the crossroads, that opens the road to find the way through, that brings about the point of alchemy and transformation, that unites one with their path of heart and the transformation and manifestation roots in the material reality out of the quantum field as a result of this. This is also a true ally that is in the process of making their way to you. And together, when your forces align, it awakens the power of Gebo, which is the magic of like two wands coming together that are like X marks the spot. It awakens the potential of the very mysterious, elusive, other rarely mentioned treasure of the Tuatha De Danann, which is the gold. Okay. So this is quite a power that's awakening here. So the connecting point comes through the unification within, but there's also somebody that you're uniting with here in the physical. This is someone that you share harmonizing gifts, or your gifts, when they are combined, there's something truly magical that occurs here, okay? You're going to work a lot of very special high magic together. And I'm bringing it in. This is soulmate energy. And this can come through a spiritual ally. It can come through a teacher on your path that awakens you to the teacher within you. This can even be an ally from the spirit realm. This can be truly partnering with an ancestral energy or with a guide energy. This also, though, can come through a romance. Someone that you are meant to harmonize with here. And this brings a lot of blessing. It brings a lot of luck. It brings the optimism of the jovial planet Jupiter, okay? And it does really hold that sort of alchemizing energy, again, of temperance, the water, the earth, okay? The cauldron of Dagda, and that point of healing and transformation within will create the manifestation without. It happens in divine timing, and we can't rush it ahead of its time. Each core component of the manifestation process is so essential. Even though to us it looks like everything's going awry, it's FAERIE. It's the topsy-turvies at work that are trying to show you, oh no, we need to turn this upside down before things can be right side up. And it's something that you only understand in hindsight. But there is a way that if you do tap into this mutable quality within you, that you can kind of time hop and you can step out into that field of quantum probability, and you can see it before it's actually arrived on the scene. Okay. And I do feel like there's this initial seeding of this moment that will come. I feel like this is sort of giving a little bit of a preview of that trine energy that turns the grit and the grime into something sublime that will come in November, okay? So all this energy of the summer is building up to this point. This is the power to be gained. The power is to be gained without, and then it, interesting. Perhaps this is what needs to be alchemized. This is what needs to be tempered. The false perception that the power is to be gained without, when actually it first needs to be gained within. And then you will harmonize with its mirror without, which comes in the form of another, or comes in the form of the path you're meant to walk. This alignment of the Two of Cups can be also the path is what you're harmonizing with, the path of heart, okay, that activates your destiny, that transforms this hand of fate that many of you seem to be struggling with at this time. But I do think you'll get through that illusion, okay? Remember to look back at those old cycles of Jupiter in Cancer to sort of give you a clue about the progression of this energy. Again, that was 2013 through 2014, 2001 through 2002, and 1989 through 1990. All right? Cycles, spirals of creation. Coming around the bend again, like there will be some kind of similar trajectory there. So pay attention to that, okay? All right, what's at stake for you and those you are meant to journey forward with on the new path? What's at stake here for your party on this campaign, on this quest that we're stepping into in the summertime here? We'll do individual quest reads around this too for all the signs, but I really just wanted to work with the collective energy this week. Because the energy is just so big this week. I don't really want to get into the individual signs. Sometimes the individual signs to me can really feel like it hems that energy in. And it can make people get a little tunnel vision. You know, they can get too focused from like an ego-centered perspective. They can keep them in a place that continues to spark division, right? So sometimes it's frustrating to read the individual sign energy because a lot of people really do struggle with the concept that we do embody all of the signs. And yet I know people really appreciate it, all right? That's why I'm kind of focusing on the collective energy this week, so we can sort of view it from a higher perspective. And then you can approach the individual signs and your own kind of like personal star sign quest with a little bit more open-mindedness, okay? Not get too polarized. Have a little bit of fun with it as you develop your character. Okay, so what's at stake for you and those you're meant to journey forward with here? Well, what's at stake is this new beginning that needs to be initiated that brings about the transformation. Queen of Swords in reverse. So you see there's some injustice that needs to be dealt with here first before there can be the reclaiming of the dawn. And this transformation can be transformed. This transformation can be transformed. Yeah, something is a little bit redundant. It is, perhaps. Well, I think there is this transformation you're wanting to see, but something won't transform the way you want it to. And I think the reality in relation to that is there's some kind of illusion here, like something illusory needs to be cut through. Also, this is giving sort of like that energy of the South Node, because that Swords energy, the Queen of Swords, King of Swords, you know, can sometimes represent that quality of Virgo. Maybe being too in our heads about something, intellectualizing something that we need to be able to have more of a fantastical view around, right? So yeah, there is something karmic here. There's something that does need to be transformed in relation to the South Node. Like there's some work that needs to be done here before this transformation can come into view. And we have the lilies here too. So there's something, lilies can also signify things that have reached their expiration. It honors the big endings in our lives. It holds honor around the las grandes muertes, the big deaths in our lives. So there is something coming through here too, perhaps about needing to see a truth arising out of something that is being released here. Okay. And it's necessary to see this truth, that maybe even the wisdom or the discernment about what needs to be released. Maybe there's a little bit of confusion around that. Okay. There's an injustice here, and something does need to be balanced out. So there are some of you that have not arrived at a core truth. You may think you have, but there's something more that needs to be seen to free from this illusion. So this transformation can take place, and there can be the emergence through the chrysalis state, okay? So you can get your wings and reach that higher ground, okay? Also, with that Queen of Swords coming out in reverse, this is when that feminine aspect has gone cold. There's not the receptivity. There's a lot of blockage there. There's a harshness there that doesn't allow the yielding and the openness for the path of heart to come through. Okay. This piece too. It's important that we break open the places inside of us that have become frozen. It's sort of like, you have to, if you want to, fish, if you want to do ice fishing, right, and you want to get something that will nourish you and tap into the water beneath the surface of what's been frozen, right, in a state of suspended animation, you have to break through the ice. And only then can you find the flow, right? Only then can you access the water, and where there's those sources of nourishment that can come through. And there's something about that too. It's like you're having to learn how to ice fish here. So before you can access that water that brings the nourishment, you have to break through the ice, something that's been in a frozen state. And there's something about that that's really aligned with the Virgo South Node right now to activate the potential of the North Node. So I think Pisces in the North Node, represented by the two fish, okay? That makes absolute sense. That makes absolute sense. There's a meeting ground here where something only appears to be divided. Okay? Interesting. Okay. What's at stake for the new world that the collective is bringing into being with this quest they're embarking upon? What's at stake for the new world that this collective is weaving into being? Ooh. The heavy lifting, man. It's a lot of heavy lifting here. Some of you may feel quite oppressed by the heavy lifting, especially when you feel like others are just kind of free to folly and, have some fun, or maybe it appears like others aren't having to do the heavy lifting that you're having to do at this time. But, we've been talking about that crown of stars, and heavy is the head that wears the crown. I mean, this is worthwhile effort here. You're holding a lot of power right now, and it's power that brings about transformation. It's also what's going to give you the power to act, that's going to get you beyond these roadblocks. You see? You have a lot of stamina and a lot of endurance here. This is coming in with the Sire of Wands, right? So this is the spirit of Lu energy that brings about the dawn we don't want to waste here, right? So there's a power here that you're going to wield wisely. I also feel like you've been really tested here. I mean, there's indication here that you've had other wizards like gunning for you. And I also feel like this is potentially, a couple wizards here who put a lot of burdens upon you. But see, these burdens are strengthening you. They're strengthening you in such a way where you're able to hold that power. It's sort of like, Thor, right? Thor cannot hold the hammer that brings about that strike of lightning, that Uranian energy that really changes the landscape and brings a transforming, awakening moment without having the iron gauntlets to be able to hold the power. So see, you've been strengthened for this. You've been readied for this. And so I know you feel burdened, and I know you feel it's not fair, and I know you feel it's an injustice, and I know you feel like this is a lot of heavy lifting, man, but it's worth it when you see the dawn that's up ahead and the power it gives you to take an action that completely shifts the landscape. It's something that will come through in the summertime, okay? I do got that Lionsgate energy around that being a very potent point of transformation. Okay. What's the cookie What's a sweet reward that the collective can keep focused on at times when it feels like it's a little bit mean and heavy as they're going through the soul smithing here? What's the cookie? What's the cookie that the collective can keep their inner vision focused on while they're going through this tempering, this refining process that gives them the strength to hold the power that's going to be put in their hands? Oh, okay. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Well, it's understanding that you already hold the sweetness of the bloom. There's something that's protected for you here. No matter how many people are trying to intercept this, it's something you already hold. Again, it's Geba. It has been blessed upon you by providence. It can't be taken by man. And you do have the eye of the tiger, the thrill of the fight. Standing up to the challenge of your rivals, you also have the endurance to take this leap of faith and perhaps cross a certain divide between where you are now and where you hope to be, that to the outsider may look impossible. In fact, they may feel like you're going to make a fool out of yourself. You're going to take that leap and you're going to have a real hard fall. But what they don't understand is that you are going to sprout wings that will carry you to the other side. And you got the endurance to bear the brunt no matter what they throw at you, and to harness this energy and source it for personal empowerment. So they're doing you a favor. They're strengthening you. They're giving you your chops. And we see that in the end, you do melt the resistance. You do embrace the challenge of Saturn. You do the work and you experience the transformation, and it comes in again. You arrive where you belong. You have your moment of celebration. You achieve your coronation. You get your crown of stars. And there's a blessing here. You just have to be able to have the vision, to see it, to sense it, to feel it, and to understand the value of this opportunity that comes through. You will receive news of this opportunity to access the waterway, to access a path of personal fulfillment, the path of heart. But it will require you to tap into your intuition and your vision to recognize the value of it and not fall into the energy of the Four of Cups where you close yourself off to what's on offer here. Because it is truly a gift of grace with the heron medicine there, okay? And it will carry you forward in grace. All right. So you know how we do here. We're going to look at this point. What is the target that you should be aiming for? Where should you focus your intention so you can kind of seed it as you're entering this sort of dreamy space of the solstice? Where should you focus your energy, your inner vision? How should you align yourself with the upcoming new moon in Cancer on the 25th to best support you in this initiatory process that you're moving through? What should your target be? Knight of Wands. To use that spear of Lu to take action, to blaze a trail forward, okay? So there is movement here. I know there's some opportunity that's coming through here for you. You may receive some kind of news of this opportunity. You may feel like this path isn't going to offer me the fulfillment I desire. You're being asked to trust this and take action on it. It blazes a trail to your stone of destiny. Even though you may not see it now, there's something about, Ted says yes to that, okay? There's something about mountain ranges here too that might be of significance. Also, connecting with the stone people. They will strengthen you. They will give you perspective of the land ahead, the terrain ahead, and they'll awaken within you a vigilance to be able to spot the opportunities that the path presents. Okay, let me do a cut of the deck to cap this off and close this out. Oh, beautiful. We do transform the swords energy after all. We arrive at the Sire of Swords, the Stone of Destiny. I do feel you will open up. You will open up to the opportunity. Look at the beautiful transformation. It's promised. It's already etched in stone. You already have the place held for you. You just need to trust it and be open to what is being released at this time, what is going through a transformation, and just trust that it really is your manifestation in motion, okay? Again, it's just the disillusion cycle that opens your road, that transforms your world, and has you finding the way through. And isn't that interesting? Look who's coming there on the airwaves towards you. It looks like that other that you're meant to align with, that also is transforming something in their own life, that's also transforming their own worldview. And together you can ponder this orb together and decide how you want to revolutionize the way your world turns as you create this big, bold, beautiful future together. Blessings.